getting the stream all set up, and I was just knocking out some of these chest pin here in this mass outbreak, and one picnic reset later, and well, what pops up but this little guy? So we are off to a pretty banging start to this stream, I would say. I think this is about the best start you could hope for, right? So yeah, let's just without further ado, there he is. There's the little guy. There's the little acorn. Looking snazzy as always. I love Chipper. Little chest pin here. He doesn't have anything to hurt, does he? Let's see. Let's see. Chest spin, learn set. Oh, we can have takedown. That's not good. That's not good at all. It can have takedown. I don't like that. I think we just dusk ball. I think we just go for the dusk ball. I don't like that it can take its stuff down. Okay, there we go. I don't love doing the dusk ball. I obviously prefer the premier ball, but I would rather be safe than sorry. Alright, we got our chest pin. You know, we got that one so quickly, I think we need to, think we ought to take chest, try to take another chest pin. I think that's, the route I want to go. Let's see, where did you go? Well, you went to a shiny box, at least, but not the right one. Okay. Let's see. Did you get a good nature? Special attack down, special defense up. Actually, a pretty good nature, all things considered, I would say, for this little guy. Not really a nickname person, but yeah, that's Chipper. That's definitely one I'll always nickname. So I gotta figure out how to nickname something. Here we go. This is Chipper. Shout out to my wife. She makes the best Pokemon nicknames. Pokemon X and Y were the first Pokemon games she ever played, and she chose Chespin, and she named it Chipper, and the name's always just stuck with me, so we gotta name that one Chipper. Alright, Chipper, you're called. Let's see if we can get another one relatively quickly. I'm not gonna waste too much time on the hunt, but definitely gonna. Yeah, I literally did one picnic reset like this after getting the kills that I needed while I was setting the stream up, and I walked back into the cave and I'm like, well, that little guy was just meandering on past, and I was like, well, time to go live quickly with no preamble there, huh? So we are live. Oh, I didn't even get to do the Bazinga. Oh, there's the Bazinga. Let's go. Oh, that Minior scared me. I was like, another one already? Can't get lucky twice in a row, but that's alright. That's alright. I literally can't complain about luck on this hunt at all now. There's no complaining from me allowed, because that was nuts. That was absolutely nutty. It appeared so quick. Well, let's see. Okay. Okay. I really don't have a goal in mind for how many of these I want to get. 3 would obviously be ideal because that's one of each evolution stage, but I'm not gonna stay here all night trying to get 3 of them if we get a second one or not relatively quickly is going to determine kind of the route we take here, because I'm not going to spend a ton of time on what I've already got. Let's see. Where you at, little guy? Yeah, I like made this corner and it like spawned right here and it just started waddling that way like this. I was like, all right, there he is. That was pretty quick. And that's the good thing about these Switch 2 hunts is they are so quick. They are so quick no matter what. Where you're multitasking at the moment. Sharing out the stream there. Gotta do it. Alright. Oh, we gave him some time to spawn this time, didn't we? Where you at? Where you at? Is that a Grookey? No. Okay, that's a Chespin just walking funny. Okay, I was like, that's walking like a Grookey. It's green. What? That Chespin was sprinting. Little dude was booking it. None of you are shiny. That's alright. Oh, that's what we needed to check, by the way. We needed to check if that one actually had takedown. It didn't, but does Woodhammer hurt? Does Woodhammer recoil? Yeah, okay. So they have multiple recoil moves, so we can't mess around with Premier Balls with the Chespin, because it can take itself out in multiple ways. Not messing around with that. So think that the play is to quick ball, and then that doesn't work, dusk ball until we catch it. Yeah, that's all we can do, which really sucks. Premier ball one's so bad, but it's a starter, so its catch rate's already going to be booty cheeks, and then add on top of the fact that, don't want to risk losing the shiny, and it just ain't worth it in any way, shape, or form, so we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I haven't even really scouted any other mass outbreaks. I saw this question mark came to it, and it was Chespin, and I was like, starter, we're doing it, bet. There's a tentacle one that I saw on the way, but we're not doing a tentacle one. Are you a shiny? No, you're not a shiny. Okay. Whoa, Excadrill. Chill out, bro. Okay. Bro, that Excadrill was sweetie coming for that booty. Gotta watch out for that. Alright, Chespin. Let's just take a peek. Just out of curiosity, what other outbreaks we got going on? Of course, the Porygons. That one's okay. Zebstrike. Ooh, we got another question mark one. Okay. Or is that the tentacles? That, I believe, was the tentacles. Okay. Yeah. So, no more in the terrarium that would interest me. Oh, we've got quite a few. Rufflet. It's a little hard to see. Murkrow's an interesting one. Ooh, I might really want to do Murkrow. Murkrow is definitely an early. Oh, there's a Dunsparce one. Dadgummit. Almost have to do the Dunsparce, you know? Okay, so Paldea has some interesting ones for us. We have Ekans. I know this Ekans hunt. Nah, well, I had it kind of around here on Violet earlier, but we've already done an Ekans hunt on stream today, so not interested in a repeat performance. We got 2 question marks though that we need to check out. And Kitakami. So we've got some other outbreaks to definitely keep our eye on. We're not necessarily gonna stick with this Chessman one too long. Let's see. I've only been live about 11 minutes, and we started with the shiny, so we'll go until we've been live for 30 minutes. If we don't find another Chespin, we're gonna move on. And then if we find another one, we're locking in until we have 3 of them. Like, it's just that simple. If we're already halfway, or if we're already majority of the way to having the evolutionary line, I'm not gonna stop. That wouldn't make any sense at this juncture. So yeah. I would say Gen 6 is rough for me starter wise. It's I'm not a big Chespin guy. I'm not a big Finnegan guy. I like Greninja. Obviously, it's in my main team here. But like outside of that, Gen 6 is pretty underwhelming with the other 2 starters. I just don't really like them. Not my least favorite Gen of starters though. That honor would belong to Gen 5. Just not a fan of any of those starters. So to pig if I had to pick one. But that's just because you have to pick a starter. Yeah. No clear cut runaway favorite in Gen 5 at all. I like Oshawott in the anime, but its design to me is a little underwhelming. It's kind of cool to see it in Legends Arceus with the Hisuian evolution, you know, but my boy Cyndaquil was in there, so like I was like gonna take him, and then Rowlet's pretty cool too. So it's like it's the third option anyway in Legends Arceus, right? That's kind of where I'm at with the Gen 5 starters. So I'd say Gen 5 is pretty meh. I mean, I'll just go through them. So like Gen 1, of course, that's just like nostalgia, right? Actually wasn't a big fan of Squirtle line until Pokemon Unite. With Blastoise like becoming my main throughout Unite when it first was introduced up until Mewtwo X was released, like my main was Blastoise. Like gave me definitely a new appreciation for the Squirtle line. Still third place though. Second place is tough. Like Bulbasaur was my first ever starter. I'm a big Charizard guy. That's pretty obvious. I love Charizard. But Bulbasaur was the OG, so it's a little tough for me. But I don't got a Bulbasaur statue right here within arm's reach on my desk like I got the Charizard. So like, you know, I don't know. I think it's I think Charizard, Charmander definitely takes that one spot in the OG trio, and then Bulbasaur's that close second. I'll give it a close second. Gen 2, great set of starters. Mad love for Chikorita. Again, I started with Chikorita originally in Gen 2. Um, just because I'd started originally again with Bulbasaur in Gen 1. So I was like, oh, I'm the grass. Yeah, I like grass types. Um, so, I like Chikorita, even though it's underwhelming as a Pokemon. But it is still my third favorite of the Gen 2 starter trio. I really appreciate Chikorita. Meganium's a great design. It's just so unusable that it kind of falls down the list. And then, you got Totodile. Feraligatr is just so useful. It's like a meta pick. I hate picking based off of that, but like, come on. And then Cyndaquil is just my boy. Cyndaquil from the anime, Ash's Cyndaquil. Bro, him doing the spinny thing and taking out Bugsy's Scyther in the anime, like, oh gosh, especially right after Charizard left Ash's team, and you're all still emotional about it, and then it was like, no, there's still a fire type on my team. Oh, it's an awesome, epic moment. So Cyndaquil just that takes the cake. Gen 3. So originally playing through Gen 3, I was a Torchic guy. So I saw Torchic, and like I said, I'm sitting here telling you about how I've evolved into the first two gens. I started out grass, and I kind of went towards fire. I kind of started out fire. I was like, oh, maybe fire types are my thing. Torchic is awesome, but then there's Trico, right? So I started with Torchic originally, and no pun intended, but I blazed through the game with it. And I had originally gotten Ruby version. Or wait, no, I'd originally gotten Sapphire. Sorry, excuse me. Originally got Sapphire, blazed through it with Blaziken, right? Haha. And then, like a couple of months later, I got Ruby for some reason, somehow, at some point, picked up a Ruby. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to use Torchic again, so I picked Mudkip. Mudkip's that boy. Like, I adore Mudkip, even despite the memeing of it. Like, I really do like Mudkip. So Mudkip easily became my favorite starter. And then Emerald came out, and I was like, well, there's only one I haven't used. Used Trico. Design, top tier. Sceptile, great mod. Gen 3 Sceptile, underwhelming. I found myself regretting not taking either one. Either Blaziken or Swampert would have done me better in Emerald. And I ended up breeding them both in my other two games, and sending the eggs over, and kind of loading the team on Emerald with those two. And so Sceptile kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. A little sad. Gen 3 also introduced me to Metagross, so like that team was stacked. I had Metagross, Blaziken, Swampert. Like, I didn't need the Sceptile really. Plus Swalo, like, come on. My second favorite bird, early bird, is Swalo. Staraptor obviously is king there. Well, it's tough now because Corviknight exists too, and then there's also Talonflame. Just peak designs, but Swalo is good. And so that team was just stacked anyway. So Sceptile kind of fell. So that's why it's third place for me. But it's not like a far behind third place. Especially not that it's become more useful. And then what was it? Gen 5 that I ran the Unburdened Sceptile. It was either Gen 5 or Gen 6 competitively. Flying Gym, Unburden, Acrobatics, Sceptile. Sheesh. Switch into a favorable matchup for the Sceptile, right? You hit them with the Swords Dance. They're like, okay, on the switch in. And then, bam, you click Acrobatics. Flying Gym boosted Acrobatics into the Unburdened Speed Boost, and just sweep the team at that point. Just the GG's, it's over. That was my go-to. like I said, it was either Gen 5 or Gen 6. So I don't exactly remember when, but one of the two. Running that on Showdown. Sheesh. Nobody saw it coming. So I really liked that Sceptile set. Um, then it's going to be Blaziken. Blaziken would have been number one before Gen 6. Honestly, like that's how long it was my number one. But after being spammed Mega Blaziken against you in Showdown for all of Gen 6, you were just so sick and tired of it. Its eventual move to Ubers was controversial at the best. It was like, learn to beat it, That was kind of a lot of people's mentality. And I just remember being so sick of seeing it. And, running, not necessarily Ubers, but more like an anything goes is what we'd call it now. Didn't really have a name back then. It would be called OU, but it would say OU with Blaziken was kind of what they would say. So, I got sick of it. So Swampert, and just because Swampert's so good, like, and I don't know, I just really like Swampert. So that's my number one. Gen 4, another really tough one. 3 great starters. Originally in Diamond version, I picked Piplup, and my Empoleon hard carried that copy. Then in Pearl, I actually went Turtwig. Now, anybody that knows me knows that Chimchar is like right up there with Charmander and another fire starter that we'll talk about later as like my favorite starter Pokemon of all time. So it's really funny that Diamond and Pearl, I didn't even use Chimchar. I didn't use Chimchar until Platinum. And I was like, well, it's the 3rd starter. Let me test out Monkey here. I was really hesitant about Chimchar at first because it was the 2nd firefighting starter in a row. And I was like, not sure about this guy, right? And I really enjoyed my Turtwig playthrough in Pearl. Really enjoyed my Empoleon in Diamond. And I was like, there's no way that they, like, there's always that one underwhelming starter. So in my mind, I was just like, oh, this is going to be Chimchar, the underwhelming starter. Wow, was I wrong, right? Arguably the best starter of the 3. And my favorite of the 3. And then you have my second would be Turtwig, I guess, if I had to pick a second one there. It's close with it and Empoleon. Torterra is just so much fun. Ground Grass is actually a really good typing, which I wasn't sure about the typing, obviously due to the ice weakness at first. But it was really good. Fun to use. But it's very close with Empoleon. So then you move into Gen 5, which I kind of touched on earlier. Not my favorite whatsoever. Tepig is my favorite. I'm not going to go in depth about it. Snivy was my favorite design-wise until the evolutions were announced. Funnily enough, on the internet, when the first stages were shown, they weren't shown with names. They were just shown, like, the Pokemon. So we all named them on the internet. Snivy was Smugleaf. There was Firepig, Smugleaf, and Water was what it was being called, like Otter, but with a W at the front of it, like Water, Otter, or Baby Otter. But more oftenly, Water was what it was called. And then of course we learned the names, and I was like, oh yeah, Team Snivy all the way. And the first playthrough, I went Snivy with Japanese White, because that's back when Japan got the games like months before America did. So I went on PlayAsia, and I had a release day Japanese copy in the mail. So I was playing on release back then, and couldn't read a dang thing, just kind of guessing my way through a Pokemon game, because it's a Pokemon game, right? You can kind of guess your way through it. It was really difficult, though, with Gen 5, considering Black and White's most controversial thing is that it only had Gen 5 Pokemon throughout the main game. So It's not like I had familiarity with the learn sets or anything. Cerebi was a godsend during that. Just kind of and just trying to figure out which Pokemon I had caught with Cerebi was the challenge too. So that was fun. Um, but kind of guessing my way through it with Snivy, and I wasn't thrilled when I saw Superior the first time. I was kind of like, it's a banana. Like, what is this thing? Um, and I really liked Samurot's design. So when I got the actual games, since I'd played Japanese White, I played regular Black first, and my English White was kind of my secondary game. So playing through Black, I went Samurott. It was fun. It was all right. It wasn't my favorite by any means, but it did all right. I don't know what it is about Samurai. I just didn't enjoy using it. I think it was just kind of. I expected one thing and got something different. I think from it, and Imbor's design really started to grow on me in this time. So then White version, obviously, I went to Pig. Really enjoyed the Pig, and it's my favorite now of the Gen 5 starters. Then we get to Gen 6. I started with Chespin originally for a very good reason. I actually planned my team out when I played X version. So I went Chespin because I wanted to pick up the gift Torchic, Speed Boost Torchic, that they had on launch of the games. So I planned my team around that. And then knowing that you get one of the Kanto Megas, I was like, I can perfectly balance my Grass Fire Water Core here with the Torchic and the Chespin and pick Blastoise. So that's what I did for my first X playthrough. It was alright. Breezed through X with that team. That team was stupid busted because I also took the gift Lucario. I mean, like, it was just a stupid busted team. And had a Mega Alakazam as well. Like, I had a Mega for every situation. Great playthrough, but I mean, I breezed through that game. So then in Y version, I was like, all right, well, I'm a fire type guy now. Obviously, we're through 5 gens, and my favorite or second favorite through every gen so far is a fire type. So let's go Finnegan and see how Finnegan works out for me. Hated Finnegan. It was awful. Bad experience. Regret picking it. And around that time, Gamefly, right as soon as I finished the Y playthrough, Gamefly did a sale on all their copies of X and Y because I guess it was like the rental period where it was, they had a bunch of copies for rental because it was the hot new game, and then it kind of, when the buzz kind of dies down, they want to sell off their extra copies, and they were selling them for like, just dumb cheap. It was like the games back then, new games back then for the 3DS were like $40. And I'm pretty sure it was like $15 to $20, right? And I was like, oh, I gotta cop an extra copy of X just because I'm enjoying it and I want a shiny hunt. So I got my extra version of X. That's when I ran through with Froakie, fell in love with Greninja, and got to take Charmander, and got to use Mega Charizard X. Just absolute peak team there in that one. Yeah, and that was my team for that playthrough. So, all in all, like I said, Froakie became my favorite. That team was busted, and then we went on to Gen 7. Now, right around when Gen 7 came out, was when my first child was like 1 year old, and he was taking a lot of my free time because I was working like 72-hour work weeks at that point. So I kind of missed out on the initial hype for Gen 7. It's still probably my least played gen of all. I started with Poplio because somehow when I was doing my team planning, it made sense for me to choose the water type. Or it might have just been because of the fairy typing and Primarina. Something something led me to Poplio. And I ran through with Poplio. It wasn't bad. I mean, Poplio is a decent Pokemon. Primarina is fun to use, I guess, but it wasn't. It didn't click for me. So that's why it's my least favorite. Plus, the design is kind of garbage. It's like, what, a mermaid clown? Like, what? What are we doing here? So I didn't really enjoy Poplio that much. And then the next run through I did of the games, I went Rowlet because I think Ash is Rowlet, essentially. You know. And it's alright. I mean, I think the design is better than the actual usability of the Decidueye, and I'll stand by that. And I didn't hate it, but then of course Incineroar, we just clicked. So Litten's my favorite, and then we get to Gen 8. Never had a doubt in my mind with Gen 8. As soon as the starters were announced, I was Team Scorbunny all along. Yeah, day one Team Scorbunny, and it's never changed. We were, the Scorbunny squad was never part of the Grookey gang or the Swabble squad. I was always Scorbunny squad, and yeah, it's been that A1 since day one there. Swobble's design is meh. Inteleon's cool, I guess, but just not my thing. So Rillaboom's definitely better, so Grookey takes that second spot for me as far as that goes. But I don't think I've ever started a Gen 8 game and not picked Scorbunny, to be honest with you. So, yeah. And then Gen 9, I was actually all for Fuecoco. Again, I'm a fire type enthusiast, it appears. And you would think that would translate. And I tried to run Fuecoco, but I didn't feel it. Wasn't feeling it. And I really like Masquerada. There's a common trend there with the Libero and the Protein Pokemon. I really like them. I think just the versatility is something I value. So there's a trend with them there. Alright. I don't think we're getting another chest pin. That's alright. We got one. I'll take the one we got, and we'll move on. So, we had some question marks we needed to check out, didn't we? They were in Kitakami that we needed to check out the question marks, I believe. But I'm double checking Paldea and make sure there was none. Yeah, there was none. Okay. But so that was my experience with that. Ended up being more of a Sprigatito fan than I thought, and that was cool. And then I tried the water starter. Oh gosh, what is the water starter's name? Quaxley. I really liked Quaxley's design, and then it evolved. It evolved. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not a Quaquaval fan, not in the slightest. Right up there with Primarina for least favorite starter design. It's pretty bad. Wild Duskull? Mass Outbreak? That's a pretty cool hunt, Duskull. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this one's Duskull. Not even the one we were going for. Another Hoot Hoot outbreak. Lame. Okay, so we need to choose between Duskull and Murkrow as our next shiny hunt. And I believe we're gonna go. I gotta go with Murkrow. I don't know why. Murkrow's just speaking to me. We're off to hunt some Murkrow, some wonderful Murkrow. Yeah. Hunt the Murkrows down. That Dawn fan was looking at me funny, man. Distracted me for a second. Oh, this is where I grind Metatite Sweat for the punch TMs. Pretty sure we've all grinded that at this spot before. I'm sure there's other spots to grind it, but this is the one I remember most vividly. Alright, where's the Murkrow at? Oh, okay. I see you, Murkrow. Alright. Iron Hands is not the best for this. Let's see. Who do we have that would be good for this? I don't even think I have like a leveled up electric type or rock type. That's sad. Yeah, I don't have. What was my Jolteon? No, not ready. Okay. What about you, Palmot? No. Okay. I know I briefly used it, but obviously not enough. 2 Toxtricities, not really quality there. Ampharos, are you gonna save me? No, Luxray doesn't save me either. Colossal, no. Daggum. I I guess Iron Hands it is. Hopefully the fighting type doesn't struggle. There we go. Just start mowing down the Murkrow. A group of crows is called a murder, which is what I shall do to all of them. Alright, so this is the boring part of the process, just getting the kill count necessary to start resetting. I don't think there's a good spot to reset necessarily. I mean, plenty are spawning. I actually really like the Murkrow shiny. I like those pinkish purplish shinies. Like Lapras, Quagsire, Murkrow, Swampert, Kyogre, Sharpedo. The list just keeps going on and on, really. I didn't even realize until I started naming it, but that's a lot. I think Palafin, or Finizen, whatever you want. It's definitely getting lower. Okay, that's the second message, so now we're just waiting for the third. Once we get the third message, we can get to work. Man, I wish Paldean and Tauros had a better shiny. I think the goal is to get a shiny Murkrow and then call it a night there. I think that's our goal for the rest of this stream is we're gonna find this Murkrow. That'll make for a pretty decent first day of streaming here. It's first time streaming on YouTube, so appreciate all of that stopped by to see that happen. talking as if the stream is already over and we don't got another hour to go before the Smirkrow shines because we used all our luck on the early jet spin. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna set up picnic right here. Just let them spawn. Just let them spawn. A little luck. Okay. So the Murkrow in Gen 2. Can we talk about that? How it repeats what people say? Like it's a parrot? Still not really sure why they went that route with Murkrow and Gold and Silver, but it was a funny part of it, I guess. Some interesting decisions were made game-wise, early gens, I'll say that. But it's kind of cool to look back on those storylines now and it'd be like, bruh, they really didn't know where Pokemon was going. They were just making crap up as they went. Like when they were designing Gold and Silver, this was never part of the plan. This was never on their mind. Not a shot. Not a single shot that they had this envisioned. So it's just funny to me thinking about that. They may have had like vague concepts like this. They're like, oh, hey, would it be cool if they could just run around and see the Pokemon? But like, but as far as all of this goes, there's no shot. Can you imagine telling somebody, oh yeah, we're gonna make a Pokemon game that's for a home console and it's gonna run in 4K? They'd be like, what the heck is a 4K? And they'd be like, yeah, well, you know how we have them LCD screens on them TVs with more vivid colors? Well, it's kind of like that, but way better. Man, that pushback from the older generation when 4K was first like becoming talked about, and the TVs were super dumb expensive, and the movies were like $50 a piece for a 4K movie. Oh my god, I remember that. I was back in my family video working days, and people would come in there and complain that we charged more to rent out the 4K copies of a movie than we did a regular copy, and I'm like, that's because I have to take the company card on release day. of the movies, and I have to go to Best Buy and I have to buy those copies of the 4K for full retail price because the suppliers didn't supply 4K. That was like too newfangled of a technology, right? And all the old people were like, well, first they made me get rid of my VHSs, and now they're telling me I gotta get rid of my DVDs for Blu-rays, and then they're telling me I gotta get rid of my Blu-rays for 4K. And I'm like, nobody's telling you gotta get rid of anything. Like, this is just the next evolution of technology. Like, chill, you know? But, yeah. The pushback from 4K was insane. And it wasn't just old people, honestly. Like, there would be, like, younger people coming in and complaining about it to me like I'm in control of the industry somehow. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it's just technology moving forward. And it's a similar thing with, you know, game prices right now and hot button topics such as the console I'm playing on currently. But, you know, that conversation is kind of like this. It's like technology is always going to advance, right? I think it was PM7 that said in one of his videos, like, either you're gonna you know you're gonna never play a Nintendo game ever again, or you're gonna pay the new prices. Like, that's your two choices. It's technology evolves and progresses, and you have to either evolve and progress with technology or don't. You know, it's the same as the people who are resistant to, you know, anything that's evolved over time and become more expensive. It's like, I've seen arguments like they're charging you know, $500 for the same thing that was already out, and it's like, no, they're not. That's like saying they were charging $500 for the same thing when they did the PS4 from the PS3. Like, it was a major leap in technology, and the new technology had a price associated with it. And like it or not, the Switch 2 is still the cheapest console on the market, just like Nintendo's always been. In fact, the day that Switch 2 launched, while we were waiting in line to get ours, I saw them going and putting stickers on the used Xbox Series X's. The Xbox Series X used cost more than a Switch 2 does new, because they increased the price of the new consoles. So a used Xbox Series X, which has been out for how many years at this point? 3-4 years at this point? I don't even know. Let's see. Xbox Series X. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 5 years at this point. Well, almost 5 years. November of 2020. So, yeah. So, you're telling me that it's competitively priced with a used 5-year-old console as a new 1-week-old console, and that's a ripoff? Like, no. I mean, come on. It's just advancing technology. And you might say, oh, it's underpowered compared to the Series X. I mean, yeah, a little bit, but it's the Nintendo product. It's never going to be the most powerful product. And the Xbox Series X also can't go handheld or docked. Like, it doesn't have that versatility. And don't even bring up the Xbox handheld that they announced at the Xbox Game Showcase, because that thing's going to be $800. Like, and it can't be docked. It's just a handheld. Whereas the Switch 2 is a handheld and a home console. It like $500 is a lot, but at the end of the day, is it with the pricing of everything else? And it's like, oh no, the new Mario Kart's $80. I mean, yeah, but the last new Mario Kart was $60, and the one before that was $60. Like, they haven't upped video game prices since the PS2 era. But every price of everything else has gone up. The budgets in gaming have gone up. Like, of course they're going to try to keep up with that. Inflation hits everywhere, even gaming. Gaming isn't inflation proof, and I don't know why we act like it is, and why it's a reason to be outraged. And then the Switch 2 breaks launch sales records, with the quote unquote boycott, nobody's going to buy it. And I see the post going, LOL, what a failure. It's a Wii U all over again. Shelves are full. It's like, not everywhere they're not. Not everywhere they're not. There's some places where you can't find one for nothing. Like I was saying, you can go on my local Facebook marketplace and you can see them going for about $1,000 a piece right now with scalpers. It's crazy. And those actually sell at that price. It's not a flop. The boycott didn't work. There's no victory to be had for that. Like it's gonna outsell the original Switch. Nintendo's gonna make record profits, and the cycle's going to continue. And the sooner you accept it and say, I can either A, never play a Nintendo game again, or B, accept that this is just the new reality of gaming and be a part of the new generation, that's your two choices. I'm not going to miss a generation of Nintendo, and after playing Scarlet and Violet now with the patches, I'm so glad I didn't hold off. Because there was a moment where I was considering holding off. I was kind of in that camp of where it's a little more than I thought it was going to be. I had, in my head, I had $400 is what they were going to charge, and so the $500 took me a little off guard. And there was a moment where I considered, holding off, but ultimately I'm glad I didn't. And the new Mario Kart's a blast. Yes, I paid $80 for a physical copy instead of buying the bundle, but I don't regret that either, because I have a physical copy of Mario Kart now, and that's important to me. It is what it is. The new era of gaming. I'm here for it. I'm part of the new generation of gaming, and it's exciting. It's always exciting to play a console and launch. It always feels like being a kid at Christmas, It's my new toy. I want to play it all the time. So, do I think that the new Mario Kart could have been better for $80? Sure. But it's also a kart racer. How much can you really innovate on it? Like, it's a Mario Kart game. It's a Mario Kart game. It is what it is. It's a fun one. But then again, it's Mario Kart. It would take a lot to be a not fun one. And I'm not really even sure how you would accomplish making a not fun Mario Kart. Well, the GBA one was a not fun Mario Kart, I guess. But even that one I put a lot of hours into, and it was not fun Mario Kart. Least fun Mario Kart, but still one of my most played GBA games. I don't know. I don't know how you how you differentiate that, but I've heard some people say that this is a bad Mario Kart, and I don't see it. I don't see it. Like the free roam is not necessarily fully cooked. I'll put it that way, but and it does feel a little empty, but the free roam didn't sell me on it to begin with. That's not what sold me on it. The 24 racers in a race, that's what sold me. Being 100% transparent. I think that many racers in a race is an interesting change to the dynamic of the game. It definitely makes races feel more high stake. Because you get hit by an item and you can drop places like a rock. I got hit by a blue shell followed by a red shell in a race yesterday, and I went from 1st to 17th place. I mean, it's that drastic of a drop, and that to me is more competitive and fun than the old, 12 racers at a time. Like, it's way more fun to have that little bit of a, like, you get hit by an item and you're like, oh no, oh no. Because like 12 racers, you get hit by an item and you drop to 5th place. You can fight your way back from 5th with a little bit of track left. You're not fighting back from 17th with a little bit of track left. You're just not. I made a good fight of it. I think I finished like 4th or 5th, but coming all the way back from 17th, no. You're not going to do it. Not unless you have enough track left, and there's just sometimes not enough track left, and you got to accept that and take it on the chin. It feels and plays different than the last entry, which is always important that they didn't just copy paste Mario Kart 8, slap free roam on there and call it a new game. Like, it's definitely a new experience. The carts all feel very good, very different. I like that cart choice really feels like it matters more so than it did in 8, in my opinion. Because 8, you could balance out the cart choice with the wheels and the flyer, but that you don't have that choice in this one. Yeah, it's a unique experience. I like it. It's my review of the Mario Kart game. Also, I've run Cyberpunk very well. Very smooth experience. No frame dropping. No lagging. It was a good time. So, I'm definitely not disappointed in that purchase, just because, well, I had missed out on Cyberpunk originally, and it seemed like a good way to get to play it. So I've been playing it on the Switch too. It's nice. There's the Hogwarts Legacy I really want to check out on the Switch too. I really liked that game on the Xbox, so I think having it to go, like, handheld would be cool. But I'm not sure I'm in a place to shell out another $70 on a game I already have. So we're probably gonna hold off on that. And then let's see, DK is gonna be coming out. I think I'm gonna skip DK. This is where I'll be vocal. It's supposed to be a $70 game with 12 hours of gameplay for the story. I'm not paying $70 to play a game for 12 hours. Not happening. Now, if reports come out that number was just wrong, once the game launches, I may change my mind, but I'm not pre-ordering it. Legend ZA, I'm definitely pre-ordering. Definitely got to pre-order that game. I'm excited that's coming with the Switch 2 version. Especially playing this patch of Scarlet and Violet has me super excited about what Legend ZA is going to look and play like on the Switch 2. I was a little worried about it because we got it announced before the Switch 2. So it was like, man, if Scarlet and Violet ran as crappily as they did, I can only imagine how bad, a new game is going to run. And then it's like, there's a Switch 2 version. I'm like, yeah. So I think that's going to be a good experience. And I'm a big Madden guy, so Madden coming to the Switch is huge. Having it handheld is huge. I just hope that it's not a gutted version of the game. I hope that they give it a fair shake with the new specs of the console. I mean, if the Series S can run it, why can the Switch 2 not, right? So we're going to hopefully see a full version of Madden on the Switch 2, and I'll probably for the first time since Madden 13. I'm not gonna buy it on the Xbox. I'm gonna buy it on a different console. So I've been stuck on the Xbox with Madden for a while, so it's gonna be nice. Although saying that, getting the ROG Ally X, it's like that might be an experience, handheld experience of Madden, but I'm gonna stick with doing it on the Switch too. I think it'll be cool to see. But Xbox announcing the ROG Ally X really lends credence to them wanting to go all digital, and also the rumor that they're kind of trying to move away from the hardware space altogether and just focus on games only, and digital games at that. Kind of leads credence to it with the ROG Ally X. Which, don't get me wrong, I want one, but I also look at that $800 price tag and I'm just like, Jesus, $800 for a handheld? Like, that's a lot. And I understand that it's powerful, but everybody's saying, get a Steam Deck, get a Steam Deck, get a Steam Deck, and it's like, yeah, but the Steam Deck's not going to have native Game Pass support. And people that say get a Steam Deck instead of a Switch 2 is crazy, because multiple people have talked about how hard it is to get Cyberpunk running on a Steam Deck, and the Switch 2 runs it flawlessly. And yeah, you can say, oh, it's optimized for the Switch 2. Okay, but it's optimized for PC, and handheld is essentially a PC, right? So you're losing your own argument there. Like, it's not Steam Deck or Switch 2 in my mind. It's like, if you want a Steam Deck, get a Steam Deck. If you want a Switch 2, get a Switch 2. If you want both, get both. Like, it's not a one or the other kind of thing. Now, if you're having to make a budget call and you have to pick one or the other, pick the one you're going to play more, by all means. But don't tell somebody else how they should spend their budget. Right? Like, sure, I could have taken that money and bought a Steam Deck that I spent on this, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much, and I'd be missing out on this patch of Scarlet and Violet, which I really enjoyed. Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 1, but I ended up stopped playing it because it was so poorly optimized. Like, it was just a struggle and frustrating. Now I'm getting to fully enjoy these games, so that alone made it feel like 2 games I already owned were new games, which is cool for a new console to do. That's kind of a unique experience, I think. I can't really think of another time where games I already owned felt like getting a brand new game with a new console, just because of the difference in it, how it runs and everything. Like, that's kind of nutty to think about. That existing games in your collection already become better because you bought a new console. That's crazy. I guess PC gamers kind of experience this in a way. Like, you get a new PC and you had trouble running this game or that game, or you had to run lower graphic settings on that game, or whatever the situation, right? To get it to run on your potato, on your Samsung smart fridge. But then you actually get a gaming desktop and you can do it. Like, that I guess that's kind of the experience, like the equivalent. But even that doesn't feel like it does it justice, because this game is exclusively a Switch product, right? And it's like, oh yeah, Switch 2. We're going to go back and make games better. This is a free update nonetheless. And they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to. I mean, it's nice that they did, and people are going to say, oh, it was much needed. It was much needed. But just because it was needed doesn't mean they had to do it. They weren't obligated. They already made their sales. Scarlet and Violet already shattered sales records. Like, they had their money in the bank, but they still put out this patch. So, kudos to Nintendo for that one. I don't think it's greed at that point. I think that's the opposite of greed. Greed would have been slapping a $10 price tag on that, like they did some of the other upgrades. Alright, we're going to do a couple more resets here, and if we don't find the Murkrow, we don't find the Murkrow, and that's going to be it for me today. How many shinies are we at today? 5 shinies so far today. I'd like to round it out with an even number 6, but we'll see. For some reason, I had a good feeling about this hunt and thought it was going to go quick, and I was wrong. Really thought this would be a quicker hunt. I think the chest pin just kind of gave me false confidence. The gloom was also pretty quick as well. Oh, you know, take it back. We have found 6 so far today. We got that Ekans and Violet. Forgot about that. We also got the Silly Cobra and Violet today. That wasn't on stream. That was before stream, but it counts. So we're sitting at 7 shinies for today. We got 8 shinies yesterday, all off stream, but so I really do need one more shiny because I got to at least tie the output from yesterday. Although to be fair, 7 of those shinies were Porygon 2s, so today already feels more accomplishing just because of the variety of shinies, but and the fact that these aren't boosted outbreaks, boosted odds outbreaks like the Porygon 2 ones are. I wonder just how crazy you can make those Porygon 2 outbreaks on the Switch 2 if you pop a sandwich, have the shiny charm plus the boosted. Like, I wonder just how crazy those get. Like look at that 30-minute of the sandwich. Like how many do you end up with? I'd be curious to see that. That might be worth grinding out some Urban Mysticas just to see. There ain't a single dang Murkrow here, man. Where's my outbreak birdie? Oh my gosh, Giraffe Rig, why you gotta hunt me down, bro? Alright, we're gonna do... I think it's because it's daytime that they stop spawning, right? Because This is a nighttime spawn. We're going to do one more picnic, and if we don't see any Murkrow, we're going to know why. And we're going to call it there. Turn around. Yeah. Alright. We're not even spawning anything from our outbreak, so here is the shiny haul for today. We got 3 blue. Oh, no. We got... yeah, we got 3. That's right, we got 3. And then we got our Gloom here with a minus special attack nature. Blah. Awful. And we got Chipper the Chestpin with actually a pretty decent nature. So, yeah. There's our guys. I guess. We'll hit it another day and see what we can get going that day. Alright, guys.